When cricket scandals are discussed, the same names surface again and again. Shane Warne, Mark Waugh. But hidden behind those headlines is another figure, less glamorous, less controversial, but just as involved. Tim May, a respected Australian off-spinner, a player known for discipline, intelligence, and calmness. Later, a powerful administrator and head of the Global Players Union. Yet buried beneath that clean image lies an uncomfortable truth. Tim May was part of one of Australian cricket's earliest gambling-related controversies. And unlike others, his role was quietly brushed aside. Today we expose how, why, and what it says about cricket's double standards. Tim May was never marketed as a rebel or superstar. He was the thinking man's cricketer. Educated, articulate, reliable. No on-field theatrics, no public controversies, no tabloid lifestyle. This reputation would later become his greatest shield, because when gambling-related misconduct emerged within Australian cricket in the 1990s, public outrage focused elsewhere, while May slipped through almost unnoticed. During the mid-1990s, Australian cricket was quietly dealing with an issue it didn't want exposed: players passing inside information to bookmakers. Not match-fixing, not deliberate underperformance, but still corruption. Pitch conditions, weather reports, team strategies, information that directly affected betting markets. Tim May, alongside Shane Warne and Mark Waugh, admitted to providing such information to a bookmaker. This was not rumor, this was acknowledged internally. And that is where the real story begins. Cricket Australia did take action, but not publicly, not transparently, not equally. Tim May received a financial penalty, a fine that carried no suspension, no public naming, and no lasting consequence. There was no press conference, no official explanation to fans, no accountability to the sport's integrity. The governing body chose containment over honesty, and Tim May benefited from that decision. Here is the uncomfortable question. Why did Tim May escape scrutiny while others became symbols of scandal? The answer lies in narrative control. Tim May didn't sell newspapers. He wasn't a flamboyant star. He didn't attract controversy. Most importantly, he fit the image Cricket Australia wanted to protect: an educated professional figure who later transitioned into administration. Exposing him fully would have meant admitting that corruption wasn't limited to bad boys of the game. It would have meant acknowledging a cultural failure, not an individual one. After retiring, Tim May didn't disappear. He rose. He became the head of the Federation of International Cricketers Associations, FICA, a role centered on ethics, fairness, and player responsibility. Let that sink in. A man once sanctioned for sharing insider information with a bookmaker was now speaking globally about protecting cricket and its players. Not illegal, not unprecedented, but deeply ironic, and rarely mentioned. Cricket has always preached integrity while selectively enforcing it. Players from certain countries were banned for life, others were fined quietly and protected. Tim May's case exposes a broader issue: who gets forgiven and who gets destroyed. No lifetime stigma, no recurring headlines, no public reckoning, just silence. Fans were never told the full story. They were never asked whether fines were enough. They were never informed how widespread the issue was. They were never shown how administrators protected their own. And Tim May remained a clean name, not because of innocence, but because of controlled disclosure. Some will argue it was a different era. It wasn't match-fixing. It was minor. But corruption doesn't begin with throwing matches. It begins with crossing ethical lines and facing no real consequences. Tim May's case helped set a dangerous precedent: that reputation can outweigh responsibility, that silence can replace justice. Tim May is not cricket's biggest villain, but he is one of its most protected participants. His story matters because it shows how easily truth can be buried, not by denial, but by omission. And until cricket confronts all of its past honestly, the sport will keep repeating the same mistakes. Not louder, just quieter.